To call to order the June 3rd meeting of the Westborough Planning Board. My name's Hazel Nurse. I'm chairman of the board, and I'd like to welcome our newest member, Carolyn Reagan, who's sitting next to our town planner. We're delighted to have you with us and look forward to working with you. Jenny Gingrich to my far left, Christina Kelleher, John Pizzoni, and John Gelsich. Tonight, we don't have a terribly long menu. I'm thinking it's the dinner I've missed already. Okay. The first public hearing we will reopen tonight is 220 Turnpike Road, and I believe we have an applicant here. It's going to bring us up to date what's gone on.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Patrick McCarty Engineering. Jim Ball to my right, the applicant. Just wanted to take 2 minutes of the board's time this evening. So we did receive the peer review letter. We've gone through all their comments, prepared a written response to comment, point, here's what we did to make a revision to the plan. We have those ready to plot and stamp in the morning and submit back to Permit Pro and Jenny and the peer review engineer. So I just wanted to come before the board tonight to make sure there wasn't anything else that any of you wanted incorporated into the plan so we could catch it all tomorrow to hopefully have a final set and then come back to you on the 17th.
Okay.
And hopefully between now and the 17th, we can work with the peer review engineer and they can hopefully agree to all our revisions or maybe a couple minor items to discuss at the 17th, potential conditions of approval, so we can continue moving forward.
Okay. Does any board have any questions about the applicant's peer review and the information received on it so far?
I do not.
None?
No. Nope.
And I had no questions either on that.
I should note that 99% of their comments were drainage related.
Yeah.
Nothing really pertaining to the layout or number of parking spaces or sidewalks or any of that stuff that you'd see above ground. So if everybody is seeming to be okay, then we'll plot and stamp those in the morning and get them submitted.
Okay, and so you'd like to request a continuance?
Yes,
to
please.
Our next meeting?
Yep.
All right, prior to that, is there anyone in the audience that'd like to comment on this application? If not, could I have a motion to continue this matter until our next meeting, which I believe is the 17th?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Okay, thank
Excellent.
you very much. for
Thank
being
you.
up
Quickest
to date.
one yet.
Appreciate it. The second matter on our agenda is an application from Amazon for minor modification of their site plan. Gentlemen, if you could introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, I'm Lee Spear with Amazon Robotics. This is Brian Lawler with SMMA.
Okay. I understand you're looking for a covered walkway between the building, I guess we've familiarly known as the Pyramid, and to the first building there.
That is correct. So the existing building at 50 Otis, as we call Boss 27, currently is not connected with the glass cube, which is existing, which is serving as an office building. Thank you. And so as part of the return to office that Amazon had issued last year, we are renovating 2 stories of that office space and increasing the occupancy from its current state. And this connector project would help connect the glass cube with the existing building and make those teams that are going to be occupying those additional 2 stories more connected with the main function of the campus, which is the robotics R&D and manufacturing spaces.
How many employees are you looking to have there?
Currently, we have approximately 80 assigned seats per story on the upper 2 stories. We're going to be adding approximately 80 more seats at each story that we're renovating. So 4 times 80 is about 320 employees, assigned seats.
Assume we have sufficient parking.
We have sufficient parking currently.
And the connector that's proposed is basically a single-story enclosed connector. It'll be serviced by utilities from inside the building, so the HVAC, power, lighting, et cetera, is all internally served. And there will be some rooftop drainage, which is designed and part of the application. And so we've shown the proposed stormwater management system for that, which includes a recharge trench, which then overflows to the stormwater management system. And that was reviewed by the town departments and town engineer. In addition to the connector itself, the single-story connector, we're also, at the request of the fire department, connecting the two existing drives around the cube building, which are currently dead ends. They're currently cul-de-sac. So we were asked to connect those for fire protection purposes, which we've shown. The fire department asked us to submit a swept path analysis of the fire apparatus around there, which we've done, and they have received. So that's really the extent of the project, is the single-story connector and the associated drive lane.
Jenny, do you have any comments on this?
Just that it has been reviewed by other town staff, including conservation engineering, building, and fire, and all those comments have been uploaded, and they were addressed by the applicant.
Okay, all right. Are there any comments from the board or questions? Caroline, since you're down at the end there?
No questions.
Christina?
I'm curious, did you look at doing the connector when the rest of the facility was initially built out?
Did we look at doing the connector at that time?
You mean in the initial site plan when we approved the initial?
Yeah,
site
I'm just
Yeah.
curious why we wouldn't wait.
There wasn't any comment, there wasn't any proposal at that time to connect the two buildings.
I guess I was just curious.
I think it's really just living in the building for a couple of years and understanding the flow of the flow of employees between the two buildings, and currently, the fact that the cube building is a building that you're investing in, right, and is permanent, so to
Sure.
speak. That there's going to be consistent.
Well, it was really your last piece, too.
Yeah.
I mean, in other words, you'd had the three buildings and that building, and we were all aware that it was going to be used for business offices, essentially. So I think it was we knew it was coming along later, and the question was what kind of usage you'd need for employees, and how often they might be going back and forth between the two buildings. And until you really had built that out, I think we're kind of up in the air on the usage, the full usage.
Yeah, and some more context on that. So the glass cube has low ceiling height, so it really doesn't serve as robotics or manufacturing type environment, kind of the baseline of what that facility supports. And it's had a kind of a wavering history. At one point they had vacated, then they moved back in, and then of course RTO made it a very, very valuable asset in terms of having office space, which has triggered those additional floors to be targeted for renovations. And so this connector, with the volume of personnel, is also going to, we're going to be broadening teams that are currently in the Boss 27 space, the main building. And so with those teams' growth, they're going to be, there's not enough seats for everybody as the business grows at this site. And so this building and this connector is going to be critical to make those personnel that are going to be assigned the seats in that glass cube feel connected, literally, and just being able to walk through and not have to go outside, in inclement weather or anything like that. It's also going to help the facility team support it as well. Cafe services, folks that bring snacks and goods and stuff back and forth from the building, is going to be able to, that connector is going to serve as a throughway for them in a protected environment in inclement weather, as well as the personnel.
That makes total sense to me. I wasn't I wasn't on the board for the beginning of the project, so I was just wondering about the context, but that makes total sense.
John, do you have any questions?
No.
John?
No, I was going to make a joke about all the rain that we have making this more important, but you kind of already addressed that by saying the weather is a reason that you're doing it, so, I have no other
Was it a
comments.
good joke? Just kidding.
I could
It was a
add
bad
little-
joke, clearly, didn't land.
The punchline is Amazon is very generous with their umbrellas, and we don't have enough umbrellas to keep at the door for all the personnel
Also,
coming and going.
the rain only comes on the weekends, so.
That's true.
When they have fewer staff.
You're right.
Okay. If there are no other questions, could I have a motion to for this minor modification?
I move that the planning board approve the minor modification to the site plan approval dated February 18th, 2020 for the property located at 50 Otis Street with the following conditions. All terms and conditions of the original site plan approval dated February 18th, 2020, and all subsequent modifications, unless modified herein, shall be brought forward in full force and effect with this modification. 2, this approval is limited to the modifications as shown on the site plan entitled Amazon Robotics BOS 27/BOS 36 connector, prepared by SMMA, dated at May 2nd, 2025, and revised May 30th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? All right.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Jenny, planning updates?
Really, I just wanted to talk about the downtown improvement project, just for the public, and just update the board on what we've been doing. So up here on the screen, I think I've showed you all this before, but that's our webpage on the planning department website for the project. And so here, anybody can look at the project, what has been done in the past. They can look at the downtown plan that was done last year, what we have for project goals, the proposed project schedule, what we have going on for public involvement. So the public meeting is on Wednesday, June 11th at 6 o'clock in this room, the Great Hall in the Forbes building. And then one feature that in the last week has become popular is this comment form. So anybody can click on this comment form here, and they can make a comment on anything that they want to say about the downtown. Really, we left it kind of general. So we have been seeing comments come back about the types of uses people want to see in addition to the transportation concerns. So feedback has been, wanting to have safer crosswalks, and then also wanting to see a more variety of businesses, things for kids to do, stuff like that. So it's also helpful for the zoning exercise that we're doing as well. We have publicized this pretty extensively. It's gone out to all the schools for their newsletters. We have the signs that you've seen out and around town. We have it on Facebook. We put out an ad in the Community Advocate to publicize the event. We've gone door to door, essentially, to businesses and talked to the different business owners in downtown, which has been a really good exercise for me and the Economic Development Coordinator and our Economic Development Committee ambassadors, because we're really hearing from the businesses and their concerns, because they're right on the Rotary. They really witness it all. So I hope that we'll have a good turnout, and I'm looking forward to the meeting.
Well, the publicity has really been out there, I will say. I've been very impressed with, where it's appeared, and it is appearing continually, which is exactly what it needs to do to remind people. And, as you said, I think the fact that you've gone to the businesses individually is a great idea. And I also think it shows the businesses that the town, and particularly the planning department, is trying to pay attention to the kinds of things they're looking for. And just to introduce yourself, so you know who they are and they know who you are, and I think that's very important at this point.
Right, yeah. I mean, a lot of what I hear, people want to make sure that we're listening to their comments, because their comments are definitely important. There's a lot of things that people like about downtown that they like about the Rotary, so change is scary and it's hard, so we need to make sure that we listen to what they like about it. And not just in a general way, like, do you like the monument in the middle? Do you like, I haven't heard anybody say they like how the crosswalks are. But usually, like, I like some of these businesses, I like, how it feels like it's a center, type town. There's a monument in the middle. It's really important for events. So those are types of things that are important for us to hear because we want to make sure that we keep those in place as much as we can when we're developing this plan.
Anything else?
We just submitted today the grants that we had been working on that you all signed a letter of support for, the active transportation plan and the Route 9 corridor study. DPW also submitted a grant application for sewer work downtown, so relining the sewer pipes downtown. And yeah, so we submitted those. We're glad those are off our plate. Tomorrow's the deadline, so we got it a day early.
Great. Let's see, board members on committees. My committees have not met. Christina?
I have an update on the Community Preservation Committee. There's actually an open forum, an open public meeting on this, or it's on June 9th, so next, is that Monday, maybe? At 5 o'clock here in the Great Hall, where people can come and ask questions, learn about the process, and really understand how to apply for the funds.
I really haven't seen any publicity on that.
No, there hasn't been a ton. I think we just scheduled it, to my knowledge, so yes. I hear you, Hazel. We'll get on it.
John, zoning, did you have any meetings?
No, I mean, Jenny,
Well, we did meet, I think we met, 2 weeks ago now?
yeah. I mean, pretty much just went through the zoning, everything that we discussed.
Microphone.
My biggest takeaway from it was on the industrial zoning side. Instead of getting rid of it all, we thought it would be better to have it be a special permit. So some of the existing businesses that are there could stay there if they were to leave or whatever, so. And then they would come in front of the board and kind of be our discretion of how industrial, how heavy of a use is it, so.
So that would be a special permit for the planning board, not for the ZBA?
I believe so, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest thing was there's a
You're right.
HVAC company there now. You know, just because if it goes vacant for 2 years, doesn't necessarily mean it's because of the market. It's probably more to do with the landlord than anything. So just want to have those businesses be welcome downtown.
Good point. John?
No, I haven't had any meetings of CMRPC or open space.
We have 2 minutes, I think.
Yes. Has everyone read the minutes of May 6th and May 20th?
Yep.
Any edits or comments?
I had comments on the one on May 20th. I'll give them to Dirk, but Jim Tashin's name on page 3 is not spelled correctly. And there was just an extra word down, Master Plan Implementation Committee dissolution. Essentially, the motion we dissolve the Master Plan Implementation Committee, period. I don't think the word dissolution was needed after that. But I can pass these over to you. Those are my minor, they're really just grammatical spelling errors.
And just to preempt the question, yes, Caroline, you can vote on minutes even though you were not a member of the board
Yes.
during those meetings.
Thank you.
Good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of May 6th, 2025 and May 20th, 2025?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? Oh, I'm sorry, you're running.
It's all right, you finish.
Go ahead.
You can finish. All in favor? It's 5-0.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Upcoming meeting dates for July and August. I've talked to Jenny, and there doesn't seem to be anything major coming in over the summer, and I was wondering whether we could get by with one meeting each month instead of 2. So the question would be what dates we would need to pick for those meetings. I don't have my calendar in front of me.
So currently, you have July 1st and July 15th. And then August, you have August 5th and August 19th. So you want to choose one of those?
I would say maybe the 15th of July. What are people's vacation
cancel?
schedules?
Or to
No,
keep?
To keep.
the 15th of July.
I think we should cancel that meeting.
July?
July totally?
No, I would just do that on the 1st. Do the 1st, and what was it, the 5th?
Well, July 1st is, we have a meeting scheduled for July 1st and July 15th,
Yeah,
so.
it was
But we'll have just had one, I guess, on June 17th. So if we move it, it might capture. But I also wonder, like, are we able to say that we would potentially move it depending on what's
Well,
on
we have to
it?
make a decision now. I mean, essentially, we could make a decision next month. I mean, at our next meeting in June. If you want to wait till then to make the decision, we could do it at that point, if that would be better for people.
Well, the problem is, and I'm not so much worried about July because I think our deadline has already passed for anybody to be on a hearing. But I know we do have a couple of subdivisions coming down, so I really would like a date certain because we have to meet the publication deadlines for the legal notices.
So you're talking, that's the August meeting. I am not available, I know, on the 19th. So we could do the first one
fine, yeah.
in
So-
August, which is the something. with-
Yeah, I was going to say the 5th of August,
5th
right?
of
Is that the
August.
first one? Because it looks like we've also got one on September 2nd. So if we did the 19th of August, that would only be
Right,
a week between them.
Okay.
And then a month between the July ones and the August one.
So are we then canceling July?
I'm fine with that. If the deadline's
Both
passed for any.
meetings or one?
No, just the 15th.
Oh, so have just July 1st.
Selfishly, I want July 15th canceled, but I can make both if I need to.
well,
Selfishly, you want which one?
July 15th canceled.
Oh,
actually, but we could do July 1st, because that would then give us 4 weeks before the next one, and then 4 weeks beyond that, approximately. So why don't we set the July meeting for July 1st, and the August meeting for August, whatever it was.
5th? Yeah, okay.
Is that agreeable with everyone?
yes.
Okay. All right, that sounds good then. Anything else anybody'd like to bring to the board before we go into executive session? If not, could I have a motion to adjourn our regular meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Favor? All right. I move to enter into an executive session under MGL C30A, Section 21, A3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation re 6 Humphrey Street Realty Trust and John Nichols trustee versus Mark Silverberg, Christina Kelleher, John Gelsich, Jonathan Pizzoni, Hazel Nurse, members of the Westborough Planning Board, Boston, Suffolk County Land Court case, the board at the conclusion of, and we will remove, what do
I
we
didn't
say?
write-
And they were-
I'm
oh,
sorry, I
and
didn't
Oh,
also
write
the-
Did you make that motion?
I did.
All right, second.
All in favor? Thank you, Westborough TV. You're off the air.